Peace and blessing to the chosen.
Hold on, my child. I love you, but you done gone too far. And to me, how you made it to work for free today. And you don't have a running car. Oh, you're always complaining, ain't ya?
Shabbat Shalom. Peace and blessings to y'all.
But this time, you didn't cross the line. Sitting around throwing dirt upon my character, using the same breath that's mine. Father, right, I crossed the line. I always got something to say. If only I could focus on the right thing. It's you, it's you that I need. Even in my hardest times, you provide for me. Even the words that I'm saying is coming to me as I say it, and I ain't playing. You see, think not on what you need to say. You bless me with the words. Thank you for all you do for me. Healing me in the midst of all the hurt.
Peace and blessings to y'all.
Father, wherever you go, I wanna come to.
Smash the like button.
Oh,
When you come in,
Abba, wherever you go, higher.
ring the doorbell before you come in the house.
I wanna come to. Yeah.
But that's just so we can drive the traffic from people who hear the word. It might touch them. This could have whatever word and message from the Most High inside of it to change somebody's life. You know what I mean? Even if you don't fit it, if it's information you didn't already hear, it might be new to somebody else.
Take me wherever you go. Lift me up
Jay, Shabbat Shalom, family.
when I'm low.
Everybody who tuning in, peace and blessings to y'all.
The tallest mountain for you, yeah. And I will build the most beautiful fountain that I can witness. But I pray you mold me to what you want me to be. And I'm willingly gonna be a living sacrifice for thee.
All right, all right. Shalom, peace and blessing to the chosen, the children of Israel scattered abroad, the children of the diaspora, uh, of the transatlantic slave trade, from the sub-Saharan slave trade. No matter where the boat stopped at, whether it was in Brazil or England, here in America, South America, no matter where it was, peace and blessing to y'all and all the believers alike across the four corners of the earth. This song that was played was about Tevin White. Everybody always asks, who was this song by? Who was this singer? Tevin White, I Wanna Come Too. You can find it on SoundCloud. Tevin White, I Wanna Come Too. Peace and blessings. Salute to the Ark, by the way. It's a song that ministers indeed. All right, family. I pray that you all's week have been a blessing. I pray the Most High and quicken spirits on things that you all needed to know. Reveal things to y'all that was hidden, that you needed to see. Purged out iniquity, definitely supplied favor, strengthened us, those who dealing with losses, those who dealing with, different strongholds. You know what I mean? I pray that he strengthened the families. I pray that relationships that were ungodly, that wasn't of the Most High, was severed, and that, that creates space for the Father to bring in the people who really are for you, the people who really are from Him. Sometimes we hold on to people, we hold on to things and situations, despite the fact of us loving them or having rapport and relationship with those people. It's not always good. You know what I'm saying? It's not always of the Most High. And those relationships sometimes will cause us to be condemned. Those relationships will cause us, those things can cause us to not be saved in the end. To be destroyed, to suffer destruction, because you're holding on to something that the Most High wants you to let go. All right, so today's message is about saving yourself. Under the banner and with the understanding that I can't go to hell for you, neither can I go to heaven for you. You can't go to hell or heaven for none of your loved ones. You, me, each individual will be judged specifically and individually by what they did, what they're doing, what they said, what's on their account. You know what I'm saying? We read with them Second Esdras, the annotated version, when it was talking about what happens to the soul after one die. Within those verses, it tells us that the daddy won't be able to stand in and say to the Most High, like, have mercy on my son. Or the mom ain't gonna be able to stand instead of the daughter and say, that's my baby, I'll go for it. No. All of that's been done. This is the reason for the Messiah. He done already came and suffered, for we can lean on him and go by his example and keep the commandments in order to get ourselves in. You can tell people, preach to them, preach their head out, preach to you blue in the face. If they don't want to listen, if they don't want to change, that's on them. You have to save yourself. All right, so here go just a example. It was a professor, right? And this professor, he presented to the class. He said, well, listen, everybody, we about to take a test. Everybody, is get your pencil and your paper. We're about to have a test. Now, you got this young guy who he comes in, he cheat out people paperwork. He not doing any study. The teacher didn't tell him, the professor didn't say, well, it's gonna be based on this material or that material. He just told everybody we finna take a test. Passed out all the papers. Told, don't nobody turn a paper over until I say so. Once the papers are turned over, then you proceed with taking the test. All right? So everybody, they read it. They didn't got their minds right. He didn't pass the papers out, turn the papers over. They getting started. They reading. Okay. This guy who's cheating, he didn't even took time to take, he didn't even take time to read the directions or even really look at the paper. He looking over at this person. Yeah, I know they smart. They usually good grades. I'm gonna cheat off their paper. He looking and he just marking. He looking over, he playing, he getting that old girl over here making little faces. She trying to do her work. He distracting her. He steady looking over on homeboy paper. He just copying whatever answer they got. The time was up though. The teacher said, all right, everybody, y'all turn in your papers. Bring the papers up there, right? And the thing was this. He doing all this cheating, but each person, the sheet that they got was specifically tailored to each person. It was questions that was specific to the guy who he was cheating off. So the question, how tall are you? This dude taller than him. This guy 5'7", he's 6 foot. He didn't put 5'7". That's wrong. So in the end, brothers and sisters, the example of what I'm saying is that people will be looking at and checking out everybody else, worrying about what everybody else doing, and you end up failing. It's certain tests in your life specifically for you that you have to overcome. Can't nobody help you with that. Can't nobody give you the answers for it. It's specifically for you. The Father gave you the assignment. All right? All right, but nonetheless, let's get into this word. We're gonna open up with let's open up with Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 14. Peace and bless to everybody. As you come in, smash the like button. It's not about the numbers, but it is about the numbers. We see the people in the world with wickedness, they got plenty of numbers, and these numbers display the fact that it's souls that's taking part and participating in the wickedness. All right, so what we want to do, we want to drive it so that, you know, the YouTube algorithms can go out and somebody who needs to hear this word, they can hear it. The goal is save souls. The goal is not to be seen. You don't have to remember me, how I look, or nothing that I've said if it don't line up with this word. But let the Most High be true and every man a liar and no flesh glory in his sight. Let the word go forth. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Peace and blessings to everybody who tuning in and everybody who will tune in. Get your paper, your pencil, your highlighters. Of course, your sword. We're going to come out the Apocrypha for a little bit. We might go somewhere else, but we definitely going to come out of the 66 and the Apocrypha. All right, but we kicking it off with Ezekiel 14, verse 12, brothers and sisters. All right, it reads, it says, the word of the Most High came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. So the Most High said, when the land sinned against me grievously, look at the land that we living in, brothers and sisters. We living in a land where our possessors slay us and hold themselves not guilty. Kyle Rittenhouse, young guy with a gun, kill people, injure people, and then get fully acquitted for all charges. All right, that doesn't go on with us. There's bloodshed. We living in a land where they glorify homosexuality, where they glorify witchcraft and sorcery, where they glorify being conniving and backstabbing, being wicked. This is the land that we live in. It then sinned against the Most High grievously. All right, so he said he'll break the bread or the staff of the bread, or he gonna cause their famine to come. But verse 14, look what it say. It says, though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord God. So despite who else is in the land and what they got going and what they doing, even Job, these are renowned men. It said Job and Daniel and Noah, they couldn't deliver nobody but themselves. It's contingent upon your own obedience. You can't just be doing something. You got people now, they don't like such and such because this person don't like them. Or they like this person because these people like them. Like you got to boil that thing down to yourself. Even what I say all the time, you in the judgment right now, people, something is a hot topic is the death of Young Dolph. The rapper from Memphis got killed, right? And when we go through and analyze the thing that this particular person presented, one of his videos looking like he rapping in hell, and the things he rapping about is ungodly, right? Now, I see within a nation, those things factor in and they matter. But you have some that say, well, it was judgment from the Most High. I'm not doubting it. Very well could be for the lifestyle he was living. But one thing that we fall short of that I had to gain understanding on. Consider the story of the shooter a lot of times, or the killers. Consider the other parts of it, because if it say it was one of the elders in the nation of Israel that got gunned down, say if one of the elders got killed in the same fashion, would that be considered from those same people that was judgment from the Most High for sin? Or would one say that, well, they assassinated him for preaching and teaching the word of God? Now, the point that I'm making with that is that we don't know what these people were doing individually. Nicodemus came to the Messiah by night. Why? Because he didn't want to be seen in public with the Messiah who was being ridiculed. He didn't want to be found associated with the Messiah. He said, man, they going to condemn me because I'm hanging with you. So I'm going to holler at you, but it's going to be at nighttime in secrecy. All right, but every man for themselves, save yourself. Job, Noah, and Daniel, they will have to do it for themselves. Verse 15, it says, if I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it, so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beasts. Though these 3 men were in it, as I live, saith the Most High Power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters. They only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate. You can't save nobody but you. People around here frustrated right now because brothers and sisters ain't listening. That's cool. I understand it. We love you so much. We love these people so much. We want to tell them, let's do right. It's a better way. But if they don't want to change, brothers and sisters, they ain't going to change. They not. It ain't nothing you can do about it. The book say what the Most High made crooked, no man can make straight. He said, what if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and power, suffered these people who were wicked? He said, suffered the wicked to do evil because they were fitted for the judgment of destruction, saying that some of these folk were predestined to be destroyed. Some of them was, believe it or not. All right, but nonetheless, in the midst of all that, people got to make the decision themselves. You have to make the choice. So we're going to hold this. Let's go to Acts 2 and 40 right quick. Acts chapter 2, verse 40. And then we're going to get some specifics about these 3 men, so long as the Father permitted. The book of Acts chapter 2. And we're going to go with verse, let's see. I want to hit 39 first. Acts chapter 2 is going to hit 39 before we jump to 40. All right, Acts chapter 2, verse 39. It says, for the promise is unto you. The promise is unto you, brothers and sisters. But you have to choose to take advantage of it. It says, and to your children, and to your babies, and to all that are afar off, to everybody got the chance. He said, the rain fall on the just as well as the unjust. Just like you seeing all this corruption in the world, all this wickedness, all the sickness and death and murder and robbery and thievery, they see it too. Some might want to turn a blind eye or try to ignore it, but nonetheless, it's still there. All right? It says, even as many as the Master, or as the Most High, our power shall call. Verse 40. And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, save yourselves from this untoward generation. And this generation is untoward, where the children killing the parents, where they getting off. Murder is the thing. They bragging about murder. They bragging about how many bodies they got. They in jail bragging about how much time they got. This is what's going on. The transgenders is out here going wild. Dudes is literally coming straight out saying, yeah, I want a transgender. Ain't nothing wrong with it. This is the time that we living in. You got well, I don't know how old he is now, but they promoting this transgender child. They made a gay club for children. This is the time that we living in. Says save yourselves. So with all that, we got to be able to see that and still choose the righteousness and stay on the path. You might have failed this week. You might have did something ungodly. But the Father then gave us mercy and imparted us time to get it right yet again. Let's keep moving. All right, let's go. Let me see. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Because from Ezekiel 14 and 14, it told us, it said, though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Most High Power. So let's get what righteousness is. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 25. That's where we're going. It said, deliver themselves by their righteousness. Not by your right. I can't be delivered by your righteousness. You can't be delivered by my righteousness. You got to do it for yourself. You got to do it. Neither can I condemn the next person. I ain't got no hell or heaven to put nobody in, just like you don't. And all praise to the Most High. Because if it was left up to man, it'll be a lot of people in a New Jerusalem who don't even deserve to be there. Because people got respected persons. Oh yeah, you can just come in. This is the biggest demon that didn't walk the face of the earth, though. All right, but then in other cases, the people who deserve to be in the New Jerusalem because you don't like the way this person dressed. Now you can't come in. All praise to the Most High. That man is not the judge, but he alone is. All right, Deuteronomy 6 and 25. Well, 24 first. It says, and the Most High commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Most High, our power, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. Verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High, our power, as he have commanded us. It shall be our righteousness if we obey what the Father says. We keep his commandments. That's what the book is telling us. All right. Now, but it said if these three men were in it, Noah. So let's go to Genesis. Let's get something about Noah. What is it? Why did the Most High even refer to these men? What stood out so much about Noah? You know what I'm saying? About Job, about Daniel. Let's go to Genesis 6. We hit verse 8. We're going to get a part of what was the type of personality. How did the Most High view them? What was said about them? The reputation of them with them before the Most High. Genesis chapter 6, saints, verse 8. Excuse me. It says, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Most High. And we know that Noah was definitely living in a time of an untoward generation where it said every thought of every imagination was only evil continually. Imagine that. Everybody, all they ever thinking is evil. They never thinking nothing good. It's a sick world. All right, verse 9 says, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with the Most High. All right, so Noah, it said he was a just man and perfect. We can get a precept or a definition biblically of what just is if we go to Ezekiel 18. We'll get it later on. All right, but jumping over here to verse 7. So let's get something else that with this saving ourselves. Saving ourselves, doing everything that we can possibly do to increase our chances to get into the New Jerusalem. All right. Genesis 7 verse 1. It says, and the Most High said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female. And of beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female. Of fowls also of the earth by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. Verse 4, for yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Most High commanded him. So if you don't know, brothers and sisters, Noah could have chosen to be disobedient. All right, but he said he did according to what the Most High said. And that's how we have to do. We got to do it even if nobody else ain't doing it. Listen, we not going to continue to be able to blame our parents, our mothers, our daddies, or whoever for not being present in our lives for some of us. You ain't gonna be able to blame them on the day of judgment and say, well, I was acting like this because they had done this to me, or they said that to me. No, you gonna have to give account because he speaking to you too. You had a chance, the Bible was in your house. You had a chance to pick it up and read it for yourself. You didn't have to wait for me to come on and teach it. And that's how so many people screwed up now. You waiting on the next person to teach you. It's on you, brother. It's on you, sister. You have to do it yourself if nobody else will. All right? But let me get something to this, again, along with that, something about this whole time here when the Most High sent the flood, right? Let's go to 1 Peter. The Most High sent their flood. The fountains of the deep were open. It rained 40 days and 40 nights. Said the water prevailed over the highest hills and the mountains 15 cubits. So the water, you know what I mean, it stood up high, killed everything. But he said he was going to destroy all that had life in them and the earth. He said he was going to destroy the earth. Now, this is why it's saying that, though. Let's go to 1 Peter. Because I'm still talking about us saving ourselves and doing what's necessary for us to be saved. Some people ain't going to agree with what I'm about to say, but it's all good. 1 Peter chapter 3. I'm going to start with 15. It says, but sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks of you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Christ. For it is better, if the will of the Most High be so, that ye suffer for well-doing than for evil-doing. For Christ also have once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust. Here we go. All praise to the Most High for that sacrifice. Now it's contingent upon each person to get in with him and keep the commandments, believing and be led by the Holy Spirit. All right. It says that he might bring us to the Most High, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. Verse 20, which sometime were disobedient, when once the long suffering of the Most High waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls were saved by water. Now, we talking about baptism. Everybody don't feel like baptism is necessary. They say, well, man, you know, people going into that water, and that's all it is. They went in the water, devil, and came up a wet devil. Or they went into the water, and that really don't matter. We supposed to be changed and transformed by the word. That is true. But you got people who in the book, and they all in the scripture, but they still demonic. You got people in the truth right now who, yeah, they hollering shalom, they hollering shalom, they hollering peace, love, and light and all that. But once they get mad, listen, they going to dabble in witchcraft to cast a spell against you. They retract them when they get mad, but they know the word. They know the book. They in the scriptures. So the point is this: if we know that the book is telling us that the Messiah did it, you know what I mean? It's good for us too. If we saying we're going to follow in his steps, we need to be doing everything that we possibly can. Some will say, well, We know the Messiah went into the temple whipping people, turning over the tables. So since he was aggressive and he spoke with authority, I'm going to speak aggressive and with authority too. All right, well, he also went into that water, brother. Get in that water then. All right, but verse 21, it says, the like figure whereunto even baptism doeth also now save us. Not to put away the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward the Most High by the resurrection of Yeshua HaMashiach. All right, so what we seeing here, brothers, is we know that the water is just the water. But we understand that we want to be able to say, when we stand before that throne, man, did I do everything possible that I should have or could have, that my report and my account before the Most High would be good? That I would have the highest possibility for him to tell me, come on in, my faithful servant. So if that means I got to get in the water, I'm getting in the water. All right, but the earth itself was baptized, brothers and sisters. That's what the flood was about. He hit the earth with the flood and baptized the planet. All right? All right, so let's go somewhere. Let me see what else I have for that. Oh, yeah, let's get more. Since we're still on that baptism, let's go here. Let's go to Matthew 3. Matthew 3. Save yourself. I know it be people who try to tell you, man, don't worry about getting baptized. No. Get baptized, man. Get in that water, brother. Get in that water, sister. And I'm going to show you, because if we saying we following the Messiah, man, look at what he did. All right, so we in Matthew 3. Matthew chapter 3, I'm going to start with 13. Smash the like button if you haven't already. All right, it says, Matthew 3, verse 13 says, then cometh the Messiah from Galilee to Jordan unto John, to be baptized of him. But John forbade him, saying, I have need to be baptized of thee, and comest thou to me? And the Messiah answering said unto him, suffer it to be so now, for thus it becometh us to fulfill all righteousness. Then he suffered him. So the Messiah he is the word. You know what I'm saying? He is the word in bodily form. And he felt that it was necessary to go into the water, to be baptized, to be submerged, to go through that holy ceremony. All right, and a lot of time when I'm explaining this, brothers and sisters, the man with the withered hand is in Matthew 12, if I'm not mistaken. When the Messiah told him, stretch forth your hand so that you will be healed. And he said that the man did that. If he had not done that, do you think he would have received that healing? Do you think he would have been able to experience that miracle? More than likely not. So I'm saying, even when it comes down to the adversary and those who adverse to the Most High, they can't just speak it out their mouth that they believe. Work has to come with that. You have to be able to display that. Go another example. This is why I said faith without works is dead. Okay. A person run up on you with a firearm, right? With a gun. You might be afraid of this person. That's why I say the fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. All right, then we get on down to where some get confused in Romans 10, where it said that Christ is the end of the law for all them that believe. It's not talking about the end of cutting it off or saying that it's distinguished. It's no longer in effect. It's not talking about that. The person run up on you and they got the gun. Put your hands up. That's a commandment right there. Now, fear will cause you to obey, right? All right, but in this sense where if you didn't believe that this person will harm you, faith. If you didn't believe that that person was going to pull that trigger, you won't go through with obeying them. I'm not finna put my hands up. You ain't going to do nothing. So the faith and the works come together. But in this case, the Messiah said he believed he know. He is the word. He got dipped in that water. Save yourself. All right, verse 16 says, and the Messiah, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water. Not the scriptures, not a bunch of scrolls. Out of the water, that H2O. and said, and lo, the heavens were opened unto him, and he saw the Spirit of the Most High descending like a dove and lighting upon him. And lo, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. That's what we want to hear. But we want to fulfill all righteousness, brothers and sisters. If your family's saying that, listen, they don't think you need to do this and that or serve the Most High, whatever it takes for you to get in the gate, do that. Even now, you got certain people who saying that they're part of the faith, but some kind of way they find means to condemn other people for how they walking. Because you reading this, listen, if you believe in the book of Adam and Eve and that's helping you with your salvation, that's keeping you fortified, I ain't got nothing to say. Do what it takes to get in, brother and sister. You got to save yourself. But we got people who say, are you reading it? I'm washing my hands with you. I can't deal with you. Nonetheless, this is why you have to do what you got to do. You going to be standing there by yourself. I'm going to be standing there by myself, man. All right, let's go to, let's see if I wanted something else on that. Let's go to Daniel. Well, matter of fact, one more thing on baptism since we're on. Let's go to John. John 3, Salakia. Or excuse me. John 3. John 3, brothers and sisters. John chapter 3, and I'm going to start with verse 1. Start with verse 1. All right, St. John chapter 3, beginning with verse 1, and it reads, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to the Messiah by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from the Most High. For no man can do these miracles that thou doest, except the Most High be with him. Nicodemus said he's a Pharisee, a ruler. So this man got status and position with the nation. He's holding he's occupying a seat that he got authority with the people. He got knowledge, people coming to him, all right? And so within it, it's saying that he came to him by night, though, sneaking, addressed the Messiah as Rabbi, gave him his flowers and told him, like, yeah, we know you the truth. We know that you on point. But he couldn't come to him like that in the daytime to be among because of his seat. We're going to get, Daniel gave us an example about it too. Verse 3, though, says, Yeshua answered and said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of the Most High. Nicodemus said unto him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Verse 5, the Messiah answered, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of the Most High. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, ye must be born again. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh or whither it goeth. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit. So within that, and in that case, brothers and sisters, the Messiah telling this man, look, man, you can't come in unless you done went through that ceremony. You can have the scriptures. You need to have that water put on you too. All right, save yourself. I don't know whoever might be dealing with it, but I'm telling you now, save yourself. Do whatever it takes. If that's what the book telling us to do that to get in. All right, now let's go to Daniel 1. Daniel chapter 1, because we started Ezekiel 14. I'm going to read it again since I just flipped straight to it. Ezekiel 14, verse 12, it says, the word of the Lord came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, They should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, said the Most High Power. All right, so listen, we got to get it in. If our brothers and sisters don't want to listen, if our parents don't want to listen, if our children don't want to listen, if our best friends don't want to listen, if our neighbors don't want to listen, if these strangers don't want to listen, listen, you better. You better. You have to. Get the blood off your hands and keep going. We're going to get some edification of why we're here in Daniel. Because we the chosen. This is our history book. Daniel 1, where we going. All right, just a little building of the story what's going on here. Nebuchadnezzar, he then came and took the people, seized them, and brought them back to Babylon. Amongst those people were the 3 Hebrew boys. Verse 3. Daniel 1, verse 3, where I'm going to start it. It says, And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel and of the king's seed and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom. Now we're going into the character of these particular brothers. And cunning in knowledge and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. Verse 6. Now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. For he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar, and to Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego. All right, so I'm going to hold it right there. Let's jump to Daniel 4, because something is important about those names changing. The name changing, what was that about? Daniel 4. All right, this is about the fact when Nebuchadnezzar had the dream, and he called all the magicians to interpret his dream, but they couldn't. Verse 6, where I'm starting at. Daniel 4 and 6. Therefore made I a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dream. Then came in the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof. Verse 8, but at the last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, and before him I told the dream, saying, all right, what we extracting from that, though, brothers and sisters, is that he said his name, Daniel's name was changed to Belteshazzar, according to the name of the God of Nebuchadnezzar, all right, according to the name of a deity, or to cut him off from his heritage. Now, this is what we seeing in the movies and throughout our history when we seeing in the roots. He said, what's your name, boy? Talking to Kunta. What's your name? He tell him Kunta. He whip him again. And what he say? Toby. Now, your name Toby. And whipped his name out of him. Because the name come with definition, destiny, purpose, relation to your people, heritage, culture, language, dress code, so on and so forth, even what Daniel means. The Most High is my judge. So we got to get that out of you. We got to change your name. We got to cut that off and give you a name according to these idols, according to these demons. Since you over here with us now. All right, we back in Daniel 1, though. Daniel 1 and 8, it says, but Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now look at the mindset of this brother. Yeah, the king, if you defile the king, you can be killed. But Daniel had the wherewithal, the purpose in his heart to say, man, I'm not consuming what dude put on the table. Let's get more of them. Let's go to Daniel 6. Daniel 6 is where I think we want to go. Is that what we want? Yeah, Daniel 6. Which aside from that, in y'all's time, one of the things that I love about Daniel in chapter 9 when he prayed, kept it real with the Most High, like, Father, man, we didn't disobey and went against you. Man, we deserve to have confusion of faces. You know what I mean? We deserve to be punished because we went against you. Your word is true. You faithful. We not. And we got to have that mindset too. Which that leads into Job. We'll get it. All right, but Daniel 6 verse 1, it says, it pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Give account. They got to give, you know what I mean? They have to give answer about what's going on. You know what I mean? These people got responsibility for that. And we all going to have to do the same thing. Tell me what's going on with the kingdom, or why, and is this, that, and that. That's what he's saying that these people had to do. Verse 3 says, then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him. And the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom. But they should find none occasion, but they could find no occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. And people will do that. You got to save yourself. You got some people, they not going to save themselves because they too busy trying to find fault in you. They trying to find out, man, what's wrong with it? What I know it's some, they got their evil suspicion already. And they gonna end up themselves, if they don't repent of it, don't get it right, rectified, they themselves will end up in their hot water. They themselves will end up in a lake of fire. Remember the guy who cheating looking on somebody else's paper? Be that sign. You trying to check to see if I'm gonna pass the test so bad, you feel it. All right, but that's what people will do. All right, but notice what happens though. So they seeking occasion against Daniel, who got this excellent spirit. Verse 5, it says, then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his power. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains, have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. So they come into the king to get him to sign this law and decree like it's a benefit for him, but the whole time it's against this one man. Verse 9, wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Verse 10, now look at what Daniel do. Look at what our ancestors, look how he moved. It says, now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, I'm going to read it again. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem. He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his power as he did aforetime. Now, Daniel knew that his life was on the line. So when we talking about saving ourselves, it's going to come that time, brothers and sisters, where the people who you've been trying to get and convince of this truth, or tell about the Most High, or tell about God, and I'm going to say God because everybody not familiar with the term the Most High. Some of these same people are going to be the ones to turn us in. They're going to say, well, they were doing such and such. And they're going to persecute us and cast us out to be killed. They're going to cast us out, you know what I mean, to be destroyed, basically. Why? Because the truth ain't in them. because they didn't make the decision to save themselves. We have to save ourselves. But this is the resolve that we have to have. Daniel had in his mind, despite what they hollering about, I'm gonna serve the Most High. He wanted to save himself. Let's go to Job, though. Let's go to Job, brothers and sisters. Save yourself. Save yourself. The status, all that's going to disappear. There's something else about Daniel. Look at the position he held. He didn't say, well, you know what? I'm not going to pray or you know what I mean, take part in this decree. I'm not going to do that because, you know, I'm this guy. I got this high position within the kingdom. It's some brothers and sisters right now because you a supervisor, because you a manager at your job, because you a lead at your job, because you the person in the office, you in the HR, you bowing down to the system. You giving in to what they hollering about. So in the case where it really get ugly, if the trees are green right now, as the book say, and you operating like that, meaning everything is good, how you gonna operate in a dry tree when it's a drought, when it's a famine, when everything ugly and terrible? If you compromising now, what you gonna do when they really trying to force everything? You got to save yourself. Job chapter 1, verse 1. It says, there was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared the Most High and eschewed evil. All right, so we just going into who is Job? How is he viewed before the Most High? What's his reputation? Say he was perfect and upright. He hated evil. All right. Now let's go to Job 40 though, because this is one of the main stories that people love to go to. They say, well, you know, Job, he didn't curse the Most High, and because of that, he was blessed. All right, but we got to look at the whole story. What was really going on with Job? We find out in chapter 3. We're going to go here to chapter 40 right now. Job 40, verse 1. It says, moreover, the Most High answered Job and said, shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? He that reproved the Most High, let him answer it. And that was Job's whole problem. In his sickness and going through what he was going through, brothers and sisters, he was justifying himself against the Most High. He was saying, then I do this, then I feed the poor, then I sleep and help with the impoverished and the fatherless and the mother. He was focusing more so on him. And then they're saying that, man, the Father ain't just in what he doing to me. Yes, he is. All right, and the Most High answered out of their world when he told, man, where was you at when I was weighing the wind up? Tell me where is the storehouse for the snow, man. Since you know so much, since you so righteous, and you got all the answers, tell me, hey, how many grains of sand is at the bottom of the ocean? How is it that this frog is so slippery? Tell me how these lilies float in the water. All this type of stuff. This is how the Most High would come. All right, but chapter 40, verse 3 though. Then Job answered the Most High and said, behold, here we go, I am vile. What shall I answer thee? I will lay mine hand upon my mouth. Once have I spoken, but I will not answer. Yea, twice, but I will proceed no further. This is the thing that preceded the blessing that Job reaped. He had to confess and say, I'm vile. In saving ourselves, this is what we got to do. We got to be real with ourselves. Father, I need correcting. I need help with this. I'm vile. I'm unclean. I'm unrighteous. I'm unholy. But some of us won't get to that point. We don't feel that. Some of us feel like we perfect. There's nothing wrong with us. Nothing needs to be corrected. But this word is for who is for. Let he who have an ear, let him hear. She who got an ear, let her hear. Verse 6 says, Then answered the Most High unto Job, out of the whirlwind, and said, Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee and declare thou unto me. All right, that's all I wanted on that. Let's go to Romans 14. Romans 14, because everybody, each individual gonna give account. You know you being sincere. You know when you not. And the Most High know it too. Romans 14, saints. Romans 14, verse 10. Listen, your congregation and who you gathering with not going to be able to save you. You're not going to be able to say, well, it's elder, what I need to tell the Most High. No, you have to put in the footwork yourself. Paisley, what I need to tell them. How can I get in? You got to be in the book and applying what we reading. We're sincere about it. All right, Romans 14 and 10 says, But why dost thou judge thy brother? And why dost thou set it not thy brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Christ. All of us going to stand before that judgment seat. For it is written, As I live, saith the Master, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to the Most High. So then, every one of us shall give account of himself to the Most High. Everybody gonna give account. What did you do? What did you not do? Why didn't you do it? Why did you do it? All of this. Your dad ain't gonna be able to save you. Your mama ain't gonna be able to save you. You got to walk this thing out for yourself. If you fall short and you got people condemning you, that's the blessing of the Most High. Like, listen, yeah, they can say what they gonna say. Or if you're doing good, they can praise you. You can get accolades and pats on the back from your brothers and sisters. But nonetheless, what does the Most High think of you? They glorifying you. They saying you great. They saying they love you, but do the Most High? We got to check ourselves for that. See, at the end of it, people be playing these different types of games, but this is one of the things that we have to understand. The games get cut off in these types of situations. When we understand it's based on you. What you gonna do? What you doing? 2 Corinthians 5, that's what we at. 2 Corinthians 5, brothers and sisters. And we're gonna hit verse 10. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10. It says, For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. Let's go to Ezekiel 18. Yeah, that's right on key. Whether it be good or bad, each one of us, we're going to appear before the judgment seat of the Messiah, man. You're going to have to give account about it. Once before, we were out street preaching, and a brother asked, he came up and asked, he said, you really think that, as far as getting to the New Jerusalem, is it based on, how much knowledge a person knows? Is it based on them knowing a bunch of information? No, sir. So if anybody else got that question, we in Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 19. We going back to Ezekiel 18, but we getting this in the meanwhile. From the Apocrypha. But Sirach 19. Let's see. I'm going to hit 22. But what we getting from this is verse 24. All right, and it reads, it says, The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. There is a wickedness in the same an abomination, and there is a fool wanting in wisdom. Verse 24. He that have small understanding and fear of the Most High is better than one that have much wisdom and transgress of the law of the Most High. All right, so saying you got small understanding, you obeying the Most High. Said you better than the person who got much wisdom who transgressing. So it's not based on the knowledge of what you have. It's based on the obedience. It's based on what you're doing. That's what we got to understand. All right, but Ezekiel 18, and then we're gonna come back to the Apocrypha, brothers and sisters. With Ezekiel 18, verse 1, it says, the word of the Most High came unto me again, saying, what mean ye that ye use this proverb concerning the land of Israel, saying, the fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge. So the question is, what you mean when what y'all hollering about? Or interpret this. The fathers have ate sour grapes, but the children's teeth are on edge. Now, years ago when I read that, brothers and sisters, I didn't know what was being said here. I'm like, man, what is he talking about? So I had to try to go through. He said, teeth on edge. Okay, teeth. Now, that's the face people make when something is really sour. And what it's telling us that what your parents did, you can't be held accountable for it. He said, now the children ain't finna be affected by what the parents did. Verse 3, as I live, saith the Most High Power, ye shall not have occasion any more to use this proverb in Israel. Behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. All right, so he's telling us, man, it's boiled down to, man, you got to get in yourself. Save yourself. All right, we ain't going to be able to point it at our parents and nobody else. See, but did you obey, though? Yeah, all of them was scared and hollering about that this is the wrong way and do this and do that. But what did you do? Did you just go along with it? Or did you stand firm and do what was commanded? What you knew, what I had already told you to do. All right. Verse 5 says, but if a man be just and do that which is lawful and right, and have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, neither have defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have come near to a menstruous woman, and have not oppressed any, but have restored to the debtor his pledge, have spoiled none by violence, have given his bread to the hungry, and have covered the naked with the garment. All these different things. You know what I mean? So you got some, they won't help the people need garments because they looking at the outer appearance. Or because this person said, no, I wouldn't help them. I don't know them. That's they resolve. But the Most High might have put you in a position for that to be your assignment to help that person. That's going to be on your account. All right, it said that he didn't come to a menstruous woman. The facts about it, people operating within their flesh and they laying down in the bed while sisters is on their cycles. That's what's going on. Say he haven't defiled his neighbor's wife. All right, you got people who hollering about they want more than one wife. Okay, that's your resolve. But in the midst of you want it, you looking at that man's wife. You trying to come over and drop a little game in her ear so that she'll be a part of your household. Said that they have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, taking part in that idolatry. 1 foot in the truth, somehow you're going to keep the holy day, but then you turn around celebrating at Easter. Some of these people calling on Dagon. Some of these people still operating, being observers of time, talking about they tracking and running with the horoscope, determining what they day going to be like. All right, said, and have not oppressed any. People get in positions of authority. You might hold a position within the body, within the congregation, within the camp. And because of that, you doing people wrong, making it hard for them. He said, but have restored to the debtor his pledge, have spoiled none by violence. A lot of people violent, man. Can't control your hands. It's going to be on your account. That's going to be on people's account, being violent like that. All right, say, have given his bread to the hungry and have covered the naked with the garment. He that have not given forth upon usury. This person needed to borrow $3, man. They needed to borrow $3. And you told them, well, listen, for that 10, you got to pay me 15. We weren't supposed to do that. That's usury. He said, neither have taken any increase, no bribes, that have withdrawn his hand from iniquity, have executed true judgment between man and man, didn't have respected person, choosing his side because it's your brother or whoever you like, this woman or whatever. Said, have walked in my statutes and have kept my judgments to deal truly. He is just. He shall surely live, saith the Lord God. All right, so that's what he did, this particular individual. Verse 10. If he beget a son that is a robber, a shedder of blood, and that doeth the like to any one of these things, if he a scammer, he said, and that doeth not any of those duties, but even have eaten upon the mountains, and defiled his neighbor's wife, have oppressed the poor and needy, have spoiled by violence, have not restored the pledge, have lifted up his eyes to the idols, have committed abomination, have given forth upon usury, have taken increase, shall he then live? He shall not live. He have done all these abominations. He shall surely die. His blood shall be upon him. Now, lo, if he beget a son that seeth all his father's sins, which he have done and considereth, and doeth not such like. So now, if your parent is doing evil and all these things, it said and you choose to do righteously, man, that's on your parents. You clean, you clear. All right, so the father said, man, I'm taking that thing away. You're going to be judged for what you're doing, each person. Out of verse 15. That have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, have not defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have oppressed any, have not withholden the pledge, neither have spoiled by violence, but have given his bread to the hungry, and have covered the naked with the garment. They have taken off his hand from the poor, that have not received usury nor increase, have executed my judgments, have walked in my statutes. He shall not die for the iniquity of his father. He shall surely live. As for his father, because he cruelly oppressed, spoiled his brother by violence, and did that which is not good among his people, lo, even he shall die in his iniquity. Yet say ye, why? Doth not the son bear the iniquity of the father? When the son have done that which is lawful and right, and have kept all my statutes, and have done them, he shall surely live. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. All right? And he goes further to say that, if you are in wickedness and you repent, you choose to turn from that, go the opposite way, start to obey the Most High, he said, then you're going to be spared. And when you die, the New Jerusalem is for you. All right, but if you doing righteousness and then you got tired and weary, you decide that you want to start being wicked, it said if you die in your wickedness, all your righteousness is going to be forgot. And the lake of fire and brimstone is going to be for you. That's what you're going to be. The Most High forbid it. All right. All right, so the goal and agenda of this message, though, brothers, is to get individuals, brothers and sisters, to realize and think that it's when ain't nobody around. You know what I'm saying? When you ain't got nobody to convocate and congregate with, who are you with the Most High? And will you still obey? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be contingent upon us as individuals. We're going to be right there alone. Ain't nobody going to be able to speak for us. Let's go to Revelation, though. Revelation 20. I'm almost through. I got Revelation 20, then we're going to get wisdom of Solomon. Yep. Revelation 20, and then we're going to get wisdom of Solomon. And just remember, brothers and sisters, You know, when the word went forth, right, after the Most High had brought our ancestors out of Egypt, and the fear was being put on all the people because, you know, we going to war, cleaning out the land, so on and so forth. When the spies went forth and Rahab hid them, when she hid them, you know, those spies made a oath with her and told her, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, because you did that, might put this scarlet rope in your window, and, you know, when we see that when we return, this house gonna be spared and everybody who you got in it. Now, that was her. This was a harlot now. This was a harlot who received favor from these people. And so when they came back and cleared the land, I killed everything. Rahab and her family was spared. And I'm saying that to say her as an individual, she heeded what was being said by Israelites. Man, these are God's people. These are the Most High chosen people. Don't play with them. Listen, I done heard about you, and I'm trying to let y'all know I don't want to be slaughtered. Spare my life. And so it was. All right, so Revelation 20, verse 11, those saints. It says, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. And there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High. And the books were open. And another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to their works. And when we see man there, in case anybody confused about it, it's talking about sisters too, women too. All right, verse 14, death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. And, you know, we praying that the Most High found us fit and just, and that we do those things necessary, that our names will be written in the Lamb's book of life, that we won't suffer the second death. But he said he saw all, small and great, stand before the throne of the Most High to get their judgment. Now let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 4. Wisdom of Solomon 4. Yeah, and I'm going to start with 16. Small and great, we're going to all be judged. We're going to be judged. We know when we out of line. We know when we giving our all. We know when we playing. All right, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4, verse 16. It says, thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living, and youth that is soon perfected the many years in old age of the unrighteous. All right, so it's telling us that the people who died in righteousness, they gonna be held as a standard to say to those who live ungodly, like, listen, you ain't got no excuse. They did it. They was able to get it done in righteousness. They didn't allow peer pressure to stop them from serving me. But you did. We all had these same opportunities in the same time, but they died in the righteousness. Right? All right, and it said that along with that, youth that is soon perfected the many years in old age of the unrighteous. So you got people that say, well, you know, I'm not ready. I'm going to do it in this time. I just feel like, you know, I'm not ready to give my all. And I don't want to talk about or try to do something that I ain't going to be fully committed to. When is it going to ever be time? What if you die in a time period where you saying that you're not ready to be fully committed? When you die, you ain't coming back. Brothers and sisters, whoever tuning in, if that's your mindset, you're not coming back. All right, but it said the youth that's soon perfected. So the young people who said, man, they made it up in their mind. Yeah, I'm going to serve the Most High, man. I'm going out like this. Said they going to be the ones who going to be used as the standard for those who old, who chose contrary. All right, verse 17, for they shall see the end of the wise, and shall not understand what the Most High and his counsel have decreed of him. And to what end the master have set him in safety. They shall see him and despise him, but the Most High shall laugh them to scorn. And they shall hereafter be a vile carcass, and a reproach among the dead forevermore. Verse 19, for he shall rend them and cast them down headlong, that they shall be speechless, and he shall shake them from the foundation, and they shall be utterly laid waste and be in sorrow, and their memorial shall perish. All right, this is even showing you that it's life after death right there. How you going to be sorrowful after you've been dead, after you a carcass? So the book letting us know it is life after death. You know what I mean? And that's the opposite of believing and understanding is the nihilist mindset, feeling like it ain't no afterlife. It ain't no judgment to come after this. So then you can do whatever you want to. Now Aleister Crowley is your God. Do what thou wilt. It ain't no judgment or consequences for what I'm doing. That's the mindset that these people have. All right, but the book letting us know it is judgment after death. Verse 20, it is life after death. So like it says, and when they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear, and their own iniquities shall convince them to their face. Their own iniquity will convince them to their face. So in the end, brothers and sisters, if we don't repent, if we don't choose to save ourselves from this untoward generation, at the end when we die, whether you old, whether you young, listen, your sin, the good and the bad, the secret and the public, is going to be brought out. It ain't going to be nowhere to hide it. All right, but so how do we keep ourselves from that? How do we save ourselves? I'm going to end with this here. No matter what, and despite what's going on in the world and life, this is what we do. Ecclesiastes 12. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 13, it says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. All right, so being sincere, being 100 with the Most High, being 100 with your neighbors, your brothers and sisters around you, being 100 and sincere with yourself, and obeying the Most High with the faith in the Messiah, with the seal of the Holy Spirit, man, we can get in that gate, man. We can get in that gate, brothers and sisters. All right, any questions, comments, or concerns? That's all I got for today. I pray that the word was edifying, strengthening. I pray some strongholds were destroyed. We kick Satan dead in his mouth with it. Because we know this is who we war with. We war with these demons. Tareen Barton Batuna, peace and blessings to you. Jay, peace and blessings to you. Mighty Lion, you. Shabbat Shalom. Naak Rakah, peace and blessings to you, son. Going back through these comments. Judah the Lion, peace and blessings to you, brother. You and the household. Black Masking Engines. Kaya, what's going on, son? Way down in the NO. Now look at you, look at me. Shabbat Shalom. Peace and blessings to you. Questions, comments, and concern before we close out. Oh yeah, Judah the Lion said, cursing others through malice, backbiting, guile, hatred of the brethren. Indeed, man. Psalm 15 let us know that too. On that backbiting thing. Said you will not enter the kingdom of the Most High with that. Trying to see who else we got in here. If you haven't smashed the like button, smash the like button. Brother Stacy Anderson, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Hebrew. Nashan Yehuda. Man. Yeah, someone get into that mindset of putting man over the Most High. Uh, but my branch, Shabbat Shalom, Hebrew. And yeah, man, y'all salute one another while y'all in the chat, man. Network with your brothers and sisters. Ontario Williams, peace and blessing to you. Bro said, the Most High gave him that download. He had to quit trying to work out everybody else's salvation, uh, and work on his own. All souls are man, says the Most High. I don't own nobody. That's the truth. One Colonel USA. He said, how can we get a religious exemption? You got several brothers and sisters who they got their paperwork. Or you can if you still on One Colonel USA, shoot me a message to the email children of the prophets 144@gmail.com, and we get you in with the religious exemption. V your pa, Sister V. Shabbat Shalom, Shalom, Saint. Houston Brews. Shabbat Shalom, Hebrew. Family. Nina Marble. I'm trying to get everybody. Na'awa Yasharala, Shabbat Shalom, Nessa. Shalom Yasharala. B. Lewis. Man, what's going on, Saint? All praise to the Most High for preserving and reserving life. You know what I mean? And we can't forget that too. You know, them arms, like it tell us, man, when we storing up them arms, brothers and sisters, in a day of destruction and disaster, said, man, that's a defense if you don't know that. So when we giving and we doing these charitable works sincerely now, man, that thing coming back into play, that helps save us too. You know what I'm saying? Charity said it cover a multitude of sins. When we speak the truth and convert a person from the error they way, that covers a multitude of sin. We want all that on our account. So we want to do everything possible to increase our chances to really receive the beckoning in and the receiving in into the kingdom. No matter what it takes, man, everything it takes, you say, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And that's what we want to do. Newborns, Ak Monty, man, Shabbat Shalom, way down in Florida, brother. Peace and blessing to you and the fam. Our praise, honor, glory to the Most High Creator, Higher, Anak seed, our Father. Okay. Now, I say, man, I hear that so much. Then they say that's your truth when you showing them with the Most High. Oh, yeah. They say that's your truth. That's what you get from it. They wilding when they do that. Indeed, Father, have mercy on us all. I need new markers. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to you. Joseph Hampton. I'll pray to the Most High. Y'all was up in the building. ZW. I'll thank the Most High, man. I'm just a fellow servant. I pray that my account is right with the Most High when I give up the ghost. Rashawn Smith. Peace and blessing to you. Hebrews 10:26, for we sin willfully. After that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. Indeed, that's a very, very scary verse. All right, but we want to have the propitiation, the mediator, the Messiah, man. We want to have it, and we want to be obedient. We don't want to sin willfully. Yeah, Tareen, shoot, just send me a message to children of the prophet 144@gmail.com, and we'll figure that way out. I myself personally, I don't have an exemption form. I really don't feel like I need one because I ain't going. But for those who do need it, anybody else who do have their religious exemption form, I think I do got a couple people who got it. But y'all help me out to help the brothers and sisters to get the forms, you know what I mean, so that they won't have to be dealing with these people at these jobs, wrestling with them about it, all that. I pray to the Most High, say I'll keep doing the work. Who from the NO? I'm out to 7 SBP. Our Al-Qaeda, Black Masking Engines, Ock said he have 7 SBP. I don't know what that is. Kanaz, Shabbat Shalom, Jesse Miller. Jesse Miller said, Shabbat Shalom, by the way, I tried with religious exemption and got fired anyway. Pray for me, family. Indeed. Man, definitely gonna send a prayer for you. Within that though, what I have come to find out, family, is that when we stand for the Most High like that, it's a test, you know what I'm saying? And once you found solid on it, he gonna give you something better anyway. You know what I'm saying? But within the time of waiting and playing the waiting game and being patient to the Most High, drop that blessing back on you. That's the time period where the enemy try to get in your head, make you feel bad, make you worry, so on and so forth. But when we stand for the Most High, it always come with benefits. Don't even worry, don't even trip. I'm telling you. Anytime you stand for righteousness and you get fired or something like that, man, the Father got something greater for you. I'm telling you. And that right there, whether you know it or not, it has so many different effects and ramifications, because it's people who at their job been and heard that, like, man, them folks literally lost their job. They dead serious about it. Well, I'm gonna be serious about it too. I'm gonna be serious about it as well then, man. They can fire me too. And there you go, saving a life. Just like when we turn in these papers at the job about keeping Shabbat. People be like, man, we had to work mandatory 5 Sabbaths. You ain't been here none, and you still at the job. How you do that? Then you end up, that's a moment to minister. Like, man, I keep the Shabbat, man. Keeping the commandments of the Most High. So, we not supposed to work and do labor on that day, so on and so forth. I know everybody don't agree with that, but nonetheless, those who do and who are on that. Now, Ox said me and Quadon should do an album. We need it for the kids, especially if that's the Father's will. Hebrew Queen, Shabbat Shalom, peace and blessing to you. Ashley Thomas said he'll bless you tenfold. Indeed, all praise to the Most High. That is the facts. All right. If you haven't, hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Some of the people been telling me they haven't been getting the notifications. I don't control that, brothers and sisters. But all I can say is unsubscribe and then resubscribe. And then I think from that point, it'll give you the notification anytime we go live or, some content being uploaded. But I pray the word minister to you all. Peace and blessing to you. I pray Satan got hit in his mouth with this word. You've been strengthened. That it carry you through the week until we, can convocate yet again. That the Father open up understanding for anybody who don't have it on what he wants you to do. Which way he wants you to go. Whatever situation you might be dealing with, that he give you, the insight on how to deal with the matter. I pray for y'all children, our children even, to be protected, to be drawn to the Most High, that they do make the decision themselves to serve the Most High. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Weezy. And that, that y'all be kept, that he have you submerged and immersed in his favor. Every destination that you go to when you travel, you protected, you covered on every side, and that at the end of everything, no matter if you fall, falter, backslide, got sick, got back on, got mad, walking truthfully and righteous, walking upright, and, everything is right. Either way, whether it's good and bad, I pray that at the end, though, that we be found worthy to enter the New Jerusalem and that our names be written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Peace and blessing to the chosen. Shalom. All praise to the Most High.